Yo folks, happy day. My name is Erin Mott and I'm a certified mental health coordinator and intimacy coordinator, and welcome back to day 2 of our series on navigating conflict on set, because it happens and we're all coming at this work as individuals with different lived experiences, and so we might come in with ideas that maybe are need to be challenged or discussed. And we also need to work on inclusivity, so allowing everyone to show up at the table. So yesterday we explored concepts of calling in and calling out as strategies to address inappropriate behavior on set or offset, really anywhere. And today we're gonna build on that foundation a bit by discussing specific methods to interrupt bias, fostering a more inclusive and respectful environment. So, Aaron, why does interrupting bias matter? Well, bias, whether conscious or unconscious, can manifest in various ways on set, from subtle microaggressions to overt discriminatory remarks. And interrupting bias is crucial because it helps to do the following things. Number one, it helps to prevent harm. So by addressing biased behavior promptly, we prevent potential emotional or psychological harm to individuals. It promotes inclusivity. So by challenging bias, encourages a culture where everyone feels valued and respected, enhancing collaboration and creativity. It empowers allies. So equipping ourselves with tools to interrupt bias enables us to support colleagues and stand up against inappropriate behavior. Because sometimes when the behavior is coming at us, it is so challenging to be able to disrupt it or interrupt it. And so having allies or other people within space who are able to step in and support in those moments is essential. And another thing that it offers is that it builds trust. So consistently addressing biases demonstrates a commitment to shared values, fostering trust among team members. It also allows an opportunity for growth for the individual themselves by interrupting that bias and challenging that thought, kind of like what we talked about yesterday when that intention versus impact. So let's explore some practical techniques to effectively interrupt bias on set. So one thing that you could do is you could offer perspective taking. So that's when you encourage the individual to consider how that situation might feel from another person's viewpoint. And this can foster empathy and reduce biased thinking. So again, allowing that moment to see how impact might have been different. A great sentence to use in that is, imagine how that comment felt if it were directed to you. Another thing that you can do is counter stereotyping. So challenge the stereotype by highlighting examples that contradict biased assumptions. So if someone's like, oh, I've never seen, a grip who's a woman, you could say, actually, I've seen several women who are excellent at those kind of roles. You can question assumptions. So prompt individuals to reflect on the basis of their statements or actions. So you could say, hey, what makes you say that? Or, hey, can you explain your reasoning behind that comment? Some folks find it effective to use a sense of humor. So when it's appropriate, humor can diffuse tension and highlight the absurdity of a biased remark. Something like, wow, I didn't realize we were stereotyping today. Again, that's using a bit of humor. It's also highlighting the absurdity of the biased remark that's coming in, but again, allowing that humor to maybe diffuse some of the energy. You could offer direct feedback. So address the behavior directly and explain its impact. Like, hey, that comment was inappropriate and could be hurtful to others. Again, it's about stopping the behavior and addressing it. And another thing is to establish some group norms. So set clear expectations for behavior on set, emphasizing respect and inclusivity. A lot of productions are doing this now in their training before folks arrive on set, certain kinds of training that offers further skills in terms of inclusivity. But an example on that is, hey, on this set we value diversity and we don't tolerate biased remarks. Simple. So what are today's practice? So to put these techniques into action, consider the following exercises. So number one, self-reflection. Recall a time when you witnessed or experienced bias on set. How was it handled? And maybe what could have been done differently? Or what was done really effectively? develop some responses. Again, that idea that we talked about yesterday, if we can build technique in a space where our neural pathways can form without our body being like in that heightened stress, that can be really supportive. So prepare a few phrases or questions you can use to interrupt bias when you encounter it. Again, sometimes it's arming ourselves with those sentences that we can use in those moments. And role play these scenarios. So again, like yesterday with a trusted colleague or someone, practice responding to biased remarks using the techniques discussed. Again, why this is important, it helps put the words in our mouth, in our system, and our body in that moment isn't in a heightened state, so it might be able to land a little bit better. If you're doing it in a role play scenario, we're using play, and scientifically, if we play, we learn things 10 times faster. So again, using that play mode of developing that. So interrupting bias is a skill, again, that requires awareness, courage, and practice. So by actively challenging biased behavior, we contribute to a safer and more inclusive environment on set. So tomorrow, we're going to explore strategies for managing power dynamics when addressing conflict. So thank you for your commitment to fostering a respectful and collaborative workspace. And we'll see you tomorrow. And also, feel free to share your experiences or questions in the comments below. Let's continue this important conversation together. See you tomorrow.